Hi, guys. Welcome back to another week's episode of What's Your Story? We have reigning all the way from Alabama. He's a singer, a songwriter. We're going to have Alan.
How y'all doing, guys?
Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you
So,
for having me.
we are just going to start from the top. And what is your story?
All right, so I am from Alabama. I've been uh, all over. That's kind of just come from that's stemmed down from even when my parents were together and my father was in the military and we were like bouncing all around. You know how that goes.
Right.
Um, but once I went to school, Troy University for theater. Um, always just kind of been you know, an entertainer of some sort, and not really getting serious about my ability to sing and write until I got to college and met my longtime producer. He goes by Charles Davis. Well, his name is Charles Davis. He goes by Uncle Chuck. Uh,
Okay.
but he kind of fostered my ability and my talent for songwriting. I've always kind of had a way with words,
Mhm.
um, writing. I've kind of, maybe did some poetry here and there, wrote some stories and stuff like that. But as far as like songwriting, that's another beast.
Yeah.
And through my work with him and our chemistry, he like brought that out of me as far as being able to compose music in that way. And so once I got my degree from there, I went to the University of Houston and did some more studies in theater. I love theater, love theater. Definitely want to go into acting on TV and film, but music has always been my passion. Been
Yeah.
singing, grew up in the church, and ever since I finished with my studies in theater, I've just been lasered in on music. And of course, just like any other starving artist, we have our doubts. We have about 50 times a day where we telling ourselves we're gonna quit, and then like, no, I can't quit. We all have our own internal hurdles, and for lack of better words, I've had my stages where I was BSing, thinking that I was really putting in the effort to do what I really wanted to do, what I know that I'm here to do.
Yeah.
Um, but now I'm finally in a space of really honing in on what my sound is and what I want people to know as far as my artistry is concerned. So um, 2021, we definitely are gearing up to really make this big push to get myself out there.
Would it be safe to say that you kind of got a late start with music when you got to college? But then you said you kind of been singing since church days. So,
Right. As far as me taking it serious, like I've always known that I could sing. I've always been in the
okay.
choir, whether it be in school or musical theater in the magnet school program. But as far as like really taking it serious and recording professionally, that didn't really, come to fruition until like the middle of my college career.
Okay. Okay. So that's when you were like, yeah, this is what I need to do.
Right, like she's like, I really can, like, that's me on the track, like, oh, I really can do this. um
Yeah.
and so, and then as I get older and things in life happen, you get in different spaces, and your music, as well as the things that you're writing about, all those things change,
Yeah.
going with the times. And of course, there are different fads within music, and trying to keep up. um,
Right.
but I mean, not only, I've also another thing that I've kind of battled with is kind of, do I want to be in the forefront and be the entertainer, or do I just want to be in the background writing for other artists? And
Mhm.
so I've been doing this for over a decade, and I've got a lot of friends or people that have heard me sing over the years. They're like, hey, like, where's the music? Are you going to put a project out? Like, what's
Right.
going on? When I first started, first half of that decade, I was just so in my head about like, well, I could drop these songs, but I could also sell these songs. So,
Right.
um, it's just, it's been that internal battle, and really taking my passion and my ability seriously.
Yeah.
Uh, and so, now, I mean, people are like, "Hey, you're not getting any younger." I'm
Right.
like, yeah, I get that argument, but I mean, there are people like, you got the artist Lucky Day. Like he was on American Idol, like I think 2005, and he just came out. He's like about
Yeah.
to be he's about to be 34. Like he didn't really get popping until like 33, 32. So,
Mhm.
I'm 31. I'm not really putting, nobody knows um nobody knows about how I feel about my passion. So nobody can really tell me how to really,
Right.
you know, orchestrate that.
Right.
Everybody's got their own story.
Yeah.
So as far as the timing, I'm not really letting that affect, my progress within it. I'm just letting it come to me. But as far as, now that I'm finally in a space, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
let's get it.
Right. I mean, and it's all about God's timing too, because it's like you've been in it for a decade, but had you jumped right on it when the thought came to you, you might not be as knowledgeable as you are now, or as prepared or determined or motivated, all these different things that you kind of get the older you get. It's like, oh, you're more wise and you understand it on a different aspect of selling it or making it your own. So,
Right. Right. Right.
yeah, for sure. It's always, everything's perfect timing.
I mean, and just to keep it transparent, like I've had opportunities
Yeah.
come across my path, and I've blown opportunities. I've not stepped up to the challenge, uh,
Yeah.
but like I said, like now, I'm trying to bring my own foot in the door. Not waiting on opportunities. I got to create my own opportunity because I know what I've got.
Right.
There's not really anybody that can, you know, tell me, hey, like you might not be ready for this, or but I see what's out there now, and
Right.
I know that I can step up to that and even surpass it if that's if need be, because I've got my own original sound, and that's really all that it is. I've got my own story, and it's time to get that out there.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think that, because you said you went to school for theater, so do you think now or eventually, I guess it's a two-part question, would like acting and singing kind of go hand in hand for you to help with your path?
For sure. I could see myself using either one as a vehicle to the other.
Yeah.
Um, but right now, with when I was in Houston, it was theater, 25/8,
Mhm.
like they're on scholarship, and the money that they were giving us every month, like that was going to the same place every. I didn't have time to, go get a side gig or anything like that because
Mhm.
it was a life. That grad program was a lifestyle. It was tough. I was going through the trenches for sure, but I was not happy in the sense of I could not put any attention toward the music. And being that's my passion. Like I was not in a good space. Like I
Yeah.
was, getting the work done, but it just, you know, when you're not happy,
Yeah.
it's gonna show in the work. It's gonna show how you're going through like your day to days. It really all show. There are
Yeah.
tales, plenty of tales with that.
Yep.
So when I finally got out of that program, I said I would never take away that much time away from music ever again.
Mm.
And so I I moved back home to Montgomery, Alabama, for like a year and a half, and then I made my push towards Atlanta. Uh,
Okay.
and then my producer, like before I got the opportunity to continue studies in Houston, my producer was like, "Yo, like, don't go. Like, you need to come to Atlanta. Let's get this music going." And I was like, "I feel you, but scholarship on the line. Like,
Right.
you have to deal with my mom now. I got to deal with that."
Right.
And so, when I finally was in a space to, go ahead and make that push towards Atlanta, I went ahead and did that. And I was able to go make some connects. I was able to get I was working with bands before I moved to Atlanta. And then when
Okay.
I got to Atlanta, I made some networking. I networked in that manner as well. My producer, he had connects. And so now that I'm in Birmingham, I still have those connects. And so
Yeah.
when I have my off days and I'm working remotely now, so I can go and make that trip to Atlanta. It's like an hour and a half trip away.
Yeah.
You can go up there and get that time in and record write for other artists as well as myself. So, just trying to make it work, just trying to, keep busy, just keep this dream alive because it's not gonna, whether I'm doing it, whether I'm feeding the beast or not, like that dream's not gonna die. Like it's gonna live with me.
Because when it's fueled, I always say this, like when it's fueled with inside you, it's like nothing that can stop you. So it's like if you just let the dream sit there, it's just gonna sit there because it's not going away. Because
Exactly.
it's the dream. So no matter what you do, you're gonna always find your way back to that fuel, that dream, because it's destined, it's within you. So
Yeah, it's something I've known before I came into this world. Like, and
yeah,
I feel like we all have that ability to know it, but
right.
not everybody has the ability to withstand all that pressure that's coming
Mhm.
in the meantime and step up to that challenge
Yeah.
to make it happen.
And then just the pressures of life, because it's like everybody's like, you need a 9 to 5, you got to pay the bills, da, 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 da. And it's like it takes a while for the dream to get in the
Hmm.
pocket.
Yeah, you got to look. Like one thing both of my parents have always been on me about is like, hey, we believe it. We can see it for you.
Yeah,
You can't just be out here chasing the dream with no stability.
right,
You
right,
got that. You got to get some stability in your situation while you're chasing that dream, and you make
exactly.
that dream happen. So,
Yeah, and it might be hard, but
oh
if
yeah,
you really want it,
right.
you'll chase it.
And it's all worth it at the end of the day because
For sure.
everybody's got their own testimony. Everybody, like I said, everybody's got their own internal hurdles, and when you make it to that other side and things start popping, like you got a story to tell that
Exactly.
nobody can. It's nobody's story but yours.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so my next question would be so since you're kind of more honed in and focused on the music, what are some strides that you think you're taking to progress yourself in your career?
Okay, so as funny you asked that, like I just got a call I think yesterday, where a band that I was in Montgomery,
Hmm.
um, through all the COVID stuff, like we're putting together a set that's gonna be streamed. He's working with a couple different VRs. My best friend, who's a self-taught videographer, he's gonna have a hand in it as well. Um,
Okay.
but we're gonna put a show together that's gonna be streamed over all social media from Facebook to Instagram.
Oh
Um,
wow.
if Twitter, finds a way to have that set up by then it'll be Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Um, but aside from that, I was actually gearing up at the beginning of, I want to say, August to drop a project entitled Lessons.
Okay.
Um, and just kind of give a little background here. So my name is Allen. It's ALLN period. But it's also an acronym. It's not just my last name. I took the E out,
Yeah.
and it's an acronym for All Lessons Learned Naturally. And so,
Ah.
yeah, yeah. So my first project, I wanted to be called Lessons, and it's just I've everybody got their own lessons. Everybody has their own path to get those lessons.
Yeah.
You know, and whether you get it on the first try or whether you hard headed and stubborn, and then you get it.
Yeah.
Um, and learn it the hard way. Some people learn it the hard way, some people learn it the easy way. But everybody's got their own path. So I wanted my first project to embody that. And I was gearing up to drop it in November. It's
Okay.
complete and everything. But when I got to November, I sat down with my producer and we had a conversation about some of the new things that he has going on his end and some of the connects that he's making. And I've got like maybe like 26, almost 2,700 followers on
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay.
But having that heart to heart with him, I was like, I could drop this project and it'd be well received and it'd be for my family and friends that have been waiting for me to drop it, might catch some ears of, some new listeners.
Yeah.
But what I really wanted at the end of the day was to have that widespread. So we kind of hopped back in the lab, and so now we've been making cover freestyles. So I had, I think the first one we ever did, which was like maybe 5, 6 years ago, we did a cover freestyle. Well, it was more so just a cover to Prince's Girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And the next one we did, well, the next one I did was I did LMA's Boot Up, and that was like a cover freestyle. You can find that on SoundCloud.
Okay.
We've got two more. We did John Mayer's Burning Room, and I just recently did, like maybe a month ago, we did Ozzy Brothers Choosy Lover, and like that song, like when y'all hear that, like when that, like that's really gonna, that's
Yeah.
really gonna do it. So what our plan is to really stack up those covers and cover freestyles, and I'm gonna work with my best friend who's the videographer, and we're gonna get put videos with those
Okay.
covers. And so
Oh,
when
okay.
as we drop, I want to go ahead and build my catalog so that when I finally start dropping, I don't have to stop dropping.
Yeah.
I
Just a
just
continuation.
dropping and keep the content flowing with it as well.
Yeah.
That's gonna help me build the fan base and my page and my page traffic, both on Instagram and while I'm trying to fix and reconfigure my Facebook. We'll
Yeah.
both have those things in place to build that fan base so that when it's time to drop this project, I'm getting all the listens and streams that I need to kind of make this thing pop off.
Yeah. That's smart. It's kind of like controlling the crowd so that
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with me making the choice to get some of these older songs like Choosy Lover and some Prince songs, we're gonna continue to hop in the lab and really find some good choice material to cover and freestyle so that I can bridge the gap between the younger crowd, my
Yeah.
crowd, and the crowd.
Do you have like a specific targeted audience for your music, or do you think you kind of are well ranged with bridging that gap with most of your music?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the younger crowd that's who's controlling the music right now. So my
Yeah.
focus would, the majority of the focus would be on them, but I gotta have the older audience in as well, just
Right.
because, I feel like they're an integral part of knowing what good music is. But
Right.
as far as my stuff, it's a bunch of things. You got soul, you got your clear cut R&B,
Yeah.
because I grew up in the '90s, so both my parents, they definitely had all the good music. Like we got to get back to that.
Right.
And then there's like my dad's from, even though I hail from the South, my dad's from Philly, and so I do have those East Coast roots, and so there is an element of that, that hip hop element, within my stuff. But it's mostly singing. But how I write, you could kind of tie it to a lyricist
Mhm.
vibe well. So, but I'm just really all about making some good quality music that make you feel good,
Yeah.
and that's got the substance, and not just talking about anything. I'm leaving no room for error within anything. That's also another reason why I haven't, um, you know, dropped the project as well. Like that's another part of it. I'm a Virgo. I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah.
So, I'm always in my head, like a song could be perfectly fine, but I'll find a way to find something wrong with it.
Right.
Um, and
Find a
so,
way to fix it up.
right. And then so I mean, at the end of the day, until it feels right, I'm not dropping.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's your work, so.
Right, right. It's gonna be my first baby,
Yeah.
so it's got to be right.
Yeah. So is this like gonna be lessons? Is this gonna be your first like actual like combination of a lot of body of work to that's gonna be put out?
Yeah, so it'll be an EP form, so it'll be like 7 to 8 tracks. Um, but I mean, like I said, I've been doing this over a decade. I've got a whole catalog full of music that we can probably just go back in and recreate and adapt it to the new sounds that are going on now, the new wave.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like this is like that the first project is gonna be where I'm at in life now, but it's also gonna have traces of where I've come from. So
Okay. That is interesting. Okay, because I was gonna ask, is there anything that we can look forward to from you from the future? So basically lessons and some other
yeah,
um
like we'll have
singles.
We'll have the content for the cover freestyles that we're gonna start dropping. I'm also kind of like dabbling into like screenplay writing and, and playwriting as well, and
Okay.
kind of expanding on some ideas that I've had over the years, some really good solid ideas. And like I'm like just like my dad, I'm a movie buff.
Yeah.
So, like I'm always watching just to see, if there's anything out there, that's kind of in line with some of the ideas that I have, and not really seeing that as of yet.
Yeah.
So I've got to get the ball rolling on that before it does happen. And
Right.
somebody does catch that idea.
Exactly.
Because I mean, like you said, like it's always there people are out doing the same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
People doing it better.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to be original and make your work stand out. I also want to get into clothing. Um,
Okay.
I, Me and my best friend have kind of talked about a clothing line. I won't release the name on it yet, just because I don't want nobody to sneak me. But it is kind
We'll
of
take it.
it is tailored to some of the things in my city in Montgomery.
Okay.
So I will be on the lookout for that. As we start to get some sketches together.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, tell the people where they can follow you if they aren't already, and
Mhm.
where they can find your music.
Okay, got you. So all my social media handles, aside from Facebook, so Twitter, Snapchat, which I really get on, but Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat, they're all Life Lyrics Loot. That's
Okay.
LifeLyricsLoot.
Okay.
And then I've got a SoundCloud link. You can type that. Social media handle in search engine, and it'll take you to my page. And I've got like maybe 3 or 4 songs on there.
Okay.
Got an original song that I dropped a while ago. I've got the boot up cover on there as well.
Okay.
Then you can just kind of see um, some of the stuff that I listen to on a day to day, because there's a lot of hidden stuff on SoundCloud. I love SoundCloud.
Yeah, SoundCloud is a cloud.
Right. So I don't want, I want to set the realistic expectation. There's not a whole lot of my stuff on there, but I
Okay.
do have something, so you can kind of get a grasp for my sound, and what to look forward to.
Okay. Little teaser.
Right.
All right, we love it. Is there anything else that you want to add that you think I didn't get to or cover?
I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. It's been a minute since we've seen each other, so it's
I
good to see
know.
you, catch up with you. Um, and then also on my Instagram, I've got because you can do the highlights on there. So
Yeah.
I've got a couple of highlight pods that I've got freestyles on, or it's like
Okay.
some random singing covers stuff on there as well. So you can, just trying to give, like you said, a little tease so you know what to expect and look forward to.
Okay. Well, I thank you for doing this, and I appreciate you so much.
My pleasure. I really appreciate you.
All right, guys, that's all we have for this week's episode of What's Your Story with Alan. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Holla.